Can the American food system even handle a switch from synthetic food dyes to natural food dyes? Spoiler alert, they can't, okay? So if you saw our previous video, we go over why the FDA ban on synthetic food dyes. There's no ban. It's a please will you. It's voluntary. There's no repercussions if your company doesn't take the dyes out of the food. Okay? But let's pretend. Let's put on our perfect world hat. Let's pretend this ban was real, okay? That they actually went through the proper channels, they changed the law, and they actually banned all the synthetic dyes. We're talking red 40, red 3, yellow 5, yellow 6, blue 1, blue 2, green 1, all of those. Poof, they are gone, okay? Well, let's discuss the ripple effect here, okay? The amount of dye needed to color a food is vastly different when it comes to synthetic and natural, okay?
Right. Yeah.
So natural dyes, they cost more, and you need more volume of the dye to actually color food because it has a very low pigment concentration. So right. To give you an idea, if you've ever colored like white icing and you wanted to make it blue, okay? If you were using synthetic dye, you may use 3 drops for an entire container of white icing, okay? And you get this nice vibrant blue. If you were to do that with natural dyes, you may need 20 to 25 drops of natural to even somewhat kind of get bright. But then the cost of that natural dye is typically 10 times more than the synthetic version. Yeah. Okay. The other problem that nobody is talking about, you need a ton of raw materials. Okay. So I keep hearing people talk about beet juice, carrot juice as, alternatives to synthetic dyes that they could use these. Well, I don't know about you, but there are no beet farmers out there sitting on 80,000 pounds of beets and carrots just waiting for somebody to come by and go, hey, I'd like to make some natural food coloring. Okay. And do you know what it takes to plant and harvest 80,000 pounds of beets?
It's a root veggie, man. It takes a lot of space and resources and water and time.
Money. It takes money.
That part.
And if there's not currently farmers doing this, now you have to somehow convince farmers to start planting these produce products so you can then use them. But then it gets worse. Like if you're looking at vegetable dyes, they have typically 2% pigmentation, okay? Meaning you're only going to draw out 2% of the color. So you're going to need like thousands and thousands of pounds in order to get small amounts of dye. This is the scariest thing I've ever heard, but did you know that it takes 70,000 insects, okay? There's a special insect that actually creates a red dye, okay? Yeah. It's actually used all the time in lots of products. It is considered a natural dye. Now, you won't find it in anything labeled as vegan because it truly is an insect, right. But it takes 70,000 insects to equal 2 pounds of dye.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. There's 2% of pigmentation. It's awful. And then here's the kicker. Let's say that we had a bunch of farmers that were growing all this produce just for pigmentation, okay? That produce, it's seasonal, it's perishable, and then it's going to be fragile once the dye's made. Because all of those natural dyes, you'll notice a lot of times when you buy like food coloring, it's in a clear little bottle, okay? You can see the food dye. When you buy natural food dye, it's usually in a white bottle. You cannot see the dye itself. Yeah. And that is because it is sensitive to heat, to light, and even pH balance. There are times if you try to, like say for instance, you're trying to dye icing again, but now this time you try to dye cream cheese icing. The pH balance is different. You could not get the same exact color from like a regular white icing as you would on a cream cheese based icing. Okay. Yeah. Now, let's just forget even that exists. Let's
Okay.
forget that it's going to cost us more. You're going to need a crap ton of farmers to make these dyes. Every packaging, okay, every item that currently has food dyes is going to have to be completely reformulated. Not just the packaging itself, but the actual recipes,
Yeah.
okay? It is estimated it takes 6 months to a year for each and every product to be reformulated from synthetic dyes to natural dyes.
Yeah.
Okay. And that is because a scientist, an actual food scientist, has to figure out the exact right combination of natural color to get even somewhat close to that synthetic color.
Well,
Okay.
and depending on the dye, it can actually affect the flavor too. Like spirulina is used for oftentimes for green and blue, but
Mm-hmm.
spirulina actually has a
A
pretty
taste to it.
distinct taste to it.
Yeah.
So like if you're
When it's
having to
used in things that are purple,
yeah.
apparently that flavor is very, very noticeable.
Hmm.
So, and that's not the only one. Whenever you have these natural food dyes, they can't like suck the essence out of it to where you
Right.
can no longer have taste. All natural dyes are going to have a lingering effect of their flavor. So I
Yeah.
hope you like beets. You like the beet aftertaste.
My old lady body likes beets.
Yeah. But here is the ultimate kicker. Like, I feel like I've already been kicking you while you're down, but this is going to kick you even more. Okay. There is not enough global production of natural food dyes. Okay.
Oh, that
So
makes
we
sense.
know the US can't handle our own, but there's not even enough being made globally to handle the US. Okay. And here's a kicker too: the US already heavily relies on imports of natural dyes.
We already know the problem with
Hello,
import.
tariffs.
Yeah.
Okay. So, like I said, if we're ignoring the fact that this isn't actually a ban, this is just a nice request from one person to a whole bunch of food corporations that they may or may not have actually spoken to,
Right.
this isn't even plausible. It's logistically impossible to be done within a year and a half. Okay. Because you would have to have already had beet farmers and carrot farmers in your, already in talks and having them planning out their next seasons. And you know what I mean? Like, we
Yeah.
have no infrastructure in place to support this, but yet they're going to arbitrarily pick a date of the end of 2026 that boom, that 70% of your groceries at the grocery store are going to be completely reformulated and on the shelves as natural colors.
And the other thing that really bothers me about this is we're looking at massively higher levels of food waste.
Yes,
So like
that was a great point. Because what do you think they're going to do with all these beets once they get the color from them?
that's it. It's just mush, like
Smush.
oddly colored mush. Like I guess there's a potential of for another use of beets,
Beet
but like
milk.
nope.
We had watermelon seed milk. Why
God.
can't we make beet milk?
Girl, okay. I actually like alternative milks. I like cashew milk. I like oat milk. Occasionally, I like an almond milk. Rice milk tastes like gross water, but power to whomever is. I'm okay with a little soy milk every now and again. Gotta keep that estrogen going in my perimenopause days. I will dehydrate and shrivel up before I drink beet.
No matter
Like
what, even if you
potato
take
milk.
all the pigment out of it, you can. It's still going to be red milk.
It's the yeah, that is ugh, I hate that. But like turnip milk, it'd be like pink turnip milk, which also sounds terrible. Or potato milk. I don't want potato milk. I want none of it. Carrot milk? That's a smoothie. Like
Okay, so
pass.
let me
Pass.
know down below. Were you aware that the food system cannot possibly do this? That it's not set up for it? It's literally impossible to meet this 2026 deadline. And at the end of the day, who's going to do this? We're going to run out of food scientists. We're going to run out of farmers. We're going to run out of insects just to try to get these natural dyes in our food. So, we're doing a series on food dyes. So, stick around because next we're going to talk about that price tag on your new all natural colored cereal. So, stick around.